that theme.
It doesn't really affect me that much.
We're live.
No, we're not.
Oh yeah, we are.
No.
Jazz hands. And lower the music. Hi everyone, welcome to another Facebook Live. Michael Castellano here with Samantha and our new guest today, Chris Backoffen. Hi Chris.
Hey.
Chris, tell everybody at home where you hail from. Where were you born and raised?
Kingston, New York.
Kingston, New York. Okay.
By Woodstock.
By Woodstock. Okay. Well, and today we are talking to Chris about background acting because Chris here is a background actor, right?
That's right.
That's true. Okay. And I've got the Mevo set up, which means I can cut to Samantha.
Hello.
Or I can cut to Chris.
Hey, all right.
Or all three of us. Isn't that a cool toy?
It's amazing.
It's a very cool toy. So we're going to learn about background acting today. Chris, what is background acting?
Yeah, background acting is just, it's actually pretty important for a production. It's all the people in the background of a movie that create the environment and the scenes and kind of the feeling of what's going on. So the difference between background acting...
Do people have to audition to become a background actor?
No, they do not. So a speaking part is what we call a principal actor, and that's above the background actor. And the background actor just provides, just the background. So it's no non-speaking part.
So it goes.
So there's no auditioning for that.
No auditioning.
No auditioning.
Can I just walk onto a set and go, put me in the film?
If you know somebody, maybe, but I doubt it. That's not really how it works. But I have literally met some great people. I've met a guy who works for an accounting firm. I met a teacher. I met a firefighter who took the day off and literally...
Could Samantha be a background actor?
Absolutely. Anybody
what? Could. Okay, if Samantha were going to be a background actor, what would her qualifications have to be? And is she qualified?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Literally anybody could be a background actor.
That's not a very high bar to. That's not a very
well. You have to fit,
high bar
the criteria that they're
over.
looking for.
So basically, the qualifications are human.
Human, yeah.
Okay. So, but there has to be. So, what could the three of us go on to the set of Transformers or a Michael Bay film?
No, there's a little bit. There's a process.
Okay.
If they're looking for, somebody who's 6 foot or taller, because they want to put them by the main actors.
So they give criteria.
Yeah.
And as long as you generally
or
fit
an elderly woman, so it's as if you generally fit that, then you can work.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where do people go? Let's say there's people watching who they're like, oh, I would love to be on film.
Yeah.
I want to be on a. What if they have a specific actor? Like, I want to be on a Leonardo DiCaprio film. Yeah. How do they get to be on a Leonardo DiCaprio film?
Yeah. So to sign up, you can literally Google and find out what productions are going on in what state, what regions, and there are a bunch of background casting agencies that you can. The easiest way to get started if you're not registered is you can go on their website and register, or you can show up to the office and register. Or what I like to do is you can just go to their Facebook page, depending on if you're in LA or New York or Atlanta, Chicago, Boston. And for instance, you can go on Grant Wolfley's page in New York City on their Facebook page, and they'll post castings, and you can call them or email them. Central Casting is in LA and New York. So these various, Rich King, there's a bunch of them. And that's a pretty easy way. You send in your resume. Well, not your resume, your headshot and your basic info.
So let's say that.
For instance, For instance, Central Casting, they make you go in. They require you to go in and fill out all your paperwork before you're able to work, and they take a picture of you, and then you're in their database. Okay. So, and then they call you whenever. You just get phone calls all the time. You work for such things. And
What are some cool sets that you've been on?
yeah, I've gotten some cool experiences. Only in New York City, actually, or in the surrounding area. Wolf of Wall Street was pretty cool. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Billions that's one that I've been doing recently. That's a really fun set.
Billions is
TV
with
shows.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, yeah.
Okay.
Damian
Okay.
Lewis. Yeah.
Damian Lewis.
Yeah, Damian
Okay,
Lewis. Yeah.
cool. And let's see. So Wolf of Wall Street, you would have been on set with Leo.
Yep.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, and Jonah Hill.
What was he like?
He
Is he very diligent? Like, does he show up and he's like, okay, or is he like fun, or is he taking it easy?
Let me tell you, the first day I was there, we were in the office scene, and he comes in, and he's got such a commanding presence. He walks in tall, and he walks in, he's got his e-cigarette, and then he gives it to his assistant. Yeah. No, he doesn't. It's probably just probably to cut down on the nerves, although he probably doesn't need that.
It's just in. Leonardo DiCaprio smokes.
No, don't spread
You're
this.
not allowed to say that.
Gosh, I'm gonna get sued.
No.
So he walks in. He's just the nicest guy. He's very professional. He's been in his rehearsals, and he comes in, and he nails it. And he just knows what he does. A couple takes, and that's it. To watch when he was doing his monologue, it was like an entire page long. He was pacing back and forth, even when they weren't filming, and he was just like going over it and talking to himself, and that was unbelievable to see. He went over 7 different versions, and they took every take, and he was just on every single time, and you'd be staring at him, or because we'd have to. I assume that we help him by like our reactions and stuff like that, because he's obviously reacting to us. So I don't know, like when he looks at you, you're like, oh man, like you're in it. You're like, you feel like you're in that scene. So he's cool, nice guy. But the funny story was, they had brought in, I don't know if you remember the midget from Wolf of Wall Street, and they brought him in, and he was really nervous. He's a great guy, and he comes in because he was a stunt double, because they threw him, but they had him like harnessed and stuff, and they threw him to the camera. And when he came in, he was really nervous, and Leo went right up to him. He's like, hey, how are you? I'm Leo. It's like, we know who you are. But that's such a nice guy. Like, shake his hand and stuff like that. And he's just a really nice guy. Jonah Hill was cool. But obviously, they're doing their work, and I didn't really get to talk with them much. But I was, right next to him for about a month and a half, nonstop. You kind of get used to it, and it's cool. They're good guys.
You were there for a month and a half?
Yeah, a month and a half.
That's a long.
Yeah, every day.
That's
yeah.
a long duration.
In all of us background, it's kind of cool. You become like a family, and we all eat together and hang out, and it's.
So, do background actors get paid?
Yeah, they do. I'm not union, so we get paid. In New York, I believe it's $99 for 10 hours, right? It's
Wait, you lost me. What's the difference between union, non-union? How does that all work?
Sure. So union, I'm not sure how it works in LA, but I mean, in New York, you could become union after you get 3 waivers, which is like, if you happen to have a special ability, and they're like, oh, we need somebody who could juggle, and you're like, I can juggle. Oh, we get a union waiver that day.
Do you have any special talents?
No.
Who out there would like to see Chris do one of his special? Do you juggle?
Oh man,
No. So you don't have any. Like,
no. Sorry, saying that.
That's okay. Hey.
Close to you guys.
What type of acting do you do again? So no, you don't qualify for any of those like special flamethrower, juggler.
I mean, if they wanted somebody to come in and like rollerblade or bike, yeah, I can.
Okay,
I can do
and
that,
those are
yeah.
considered special talents.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. So what about? Well, see, I guess it wouldn't be singing. Wouldn't be a special talent because usually background actors aren't heard.
They would probably book you for
That would be a
principal
speaking
or-
role.
Yeah, that would probably.
If you sing, is that a speaking role, or is that different?
So there's a certain threshold or number that if there are, I think, like 10 or more people speaking, it doesn't count, and they'll tell you when you guys can do that. But if it's like an individual or just like 2 or 3 people speaking, they'll bump bump you up to a principal role or featured or
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. All right, we're now going to cut to Samantha. Samantha, what do you think about all this?
It's very cool.
What do you have here in your glass, Samantha?
Just a little tea.
Yeah, a little tea. A little sipping on grandma's tea. A little bit of, you know what?
Just a little iced tea.
All right, Chris, can you please say hello to Marissa Castellano, who's joined the Facebook Live?
Yes. Hey, Marissa.
And can you say hello to Nick Yarnell?
Hey, Nick. How are you?
And then it looks like Allie's on. Allie McNeil. Hi, Allie.
Hello.
All right, so we've got some people joining. We are with Chris Backoffen, and we are learning about background acting. All right, so let's say I wanted to do this, and what's my timeline looking like? When do I get on set from today?
Sure.
I want to do it, right? I mean, I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on a set of a major motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
Month, a week, a year and a half. When will I find myself on set if I do all the right steps?
I'd say a week.
A week?
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Huh. Samantha wants to get on Game of Thrones.
Oh, so I can tell you a little bit about the. So for in New York
I
City, for
need
example,
All right.
what I do.
I need to be there with Jon Snow. Like, that's my
You
goal.
want to be with Jon Snow?
Jon Snow. I'm not sure that's his real name.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
So wait a second. So you just said she could be on it in a week.
Well, you don't really have a choice.
You said that. We have it on
Yeah,
camera.
you don't really have a choice of choosing which one you want to be on, but you can work on something probably.
Man.
You could be registered and working within a week.
Mm.
Registered and working
Yeah.
in a week. Okay, but she raises a good point. What if she has her heart?
Game of Thrones.
She has her heart set on, I want to be on Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
Is there a path forward? Would she have to fly to Iceland? I mean, how do they do that? How do you get 100 people in a coliseum with Khaleesi? You know, like how do
Yeah.
they fill that? Do they
Yeah.
only do it locally? Do you have to sign up? Do you have to figure out where it's shooting and get yourself there? How does that all work?
So if you're going to another country, I really think you have to be a resident. I'm sure that SAG has some requirements that you have to hire a certain amount of local talent.
Is Game of Thrones UK based?
You know, I haven't seen those ones. I
You
think
haven't what?
I haven't seen it
You
yet.
haven't
I have
what?
it. Yep.
You haven't seen Game of Thrones?
Uh-oh.
I'm working on it.
Fail.
I know.
Well, Game of Thrones is an HBO series.
Aye.
Few people watch it,
Okay, I read half of the book.
and it's about dragons and
Mm-hmm.
people who want to rule the world.
Yeah.
And Samantha wants to be on it.
Best.
Well, we should try to get you on it though. If they film in the U.S. anywhere, we will.
Yeah,
what we'll
I'm
do
not
is we'll
sure.
hunt down where they're filming. We'll see what
Jon
background
Snow.
casting isn't it. Jon Snow. We'll make sure you see him.
Michael wants to see him too.
I don't want to see him necessarily.
Khaleesi.
But yeah, actually,
You
I'd
can be
like
in
to.
Khaleesi's background. I'll be in Jon's background.
Okay, but that's not going to happen for us because it's
I want
not.
to see ghosts.
It's not in the United States, right? They don't film a lot.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Well, yeah.
We don't know that for sure.
This whole background acting thing is seeming less and less possible. Where our dreams are fading.
No,
They're
it's extremely easy.
fading away because if we can't be on that show, then
It's not
You don't
worth
want to
it.
do anything.
No.
oh, she likes James Franco.
Oh yeah.
Can she get on a James Franco film?
Absolutely.
Okay, in a week.
I think he has a new show out.
Does he? The Hulu one.
It's called Why This Guy or Why Him?
Why him?
Why
Why
Him?
him? Yeah.
Why him?
I don't know. You have to
Yeah.
ask him.
All right. Well, what's the worst part about being a background actor?
Oh. Well, for starters, sometimes when we show up, always when we show up, we have to fill out a packet of paperwork every single time we work, which is kind of annoying. You'd think that they'd have you sign it online or something once. So you have to sign that in every morning when you show up to set, and sometimes we work 14-hour days. So it's a drain sometimes. But I'd say definitely the paperwork.
Paperwork.
Yeah, probably paperwork.
And who on set? Teach us a little bit about the set, the production. Who are you guys reporting to? Who's your boss on a given film set?
Sure. So our boss would be the production assistant, whose boss is the additional second AD, which is the assistant director, and the second assistant director, and it goes up from there. But it's usually the second ADs and the production assistants who manage all of us in our paperwork. They check us in. They tell us when lunch is, and they try to make our job as efficient as possible.
Got it. So, a non-efficient part of the whole process is the checking in, checking out.
Yeah.
All of
So
that
like
stuff.
when we shot in Wolf of Wall Street, we had a big office scene. There were hundreds of us, and when we all go to check in, there's hundreds of us grabbing the packet of paperwork, going to sit down, fill it out, and then at the end of the day, when the staff has to sit there, take each of ours and fill out the paperwork by hand.
I hate filling out paperwork.
Isn't it terrible?
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Especially when you go to the doctors and you have to fill out the
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. It takes a long time.
Oh, speaking of which, somebody out there should, for the doctor's offices, somebody should create an app where all of my info is the same and I just press submit.
Yeah?
Wouldn't that be interesting? You show up to a doctor's office and then it goes, fill out this form. It goes,
That's
no.
all the
Well, there's
same
ZocDoc,
stuff.
right?
What?
ZocDoc?
I don't know about ZocDoc.
Oh.
Is that what it does?
Yeah, I think it does that. I use it in New York City.
Mm.
It's pretty good. It's
All right.
a piece of work.
If ZocDoc does that,
Mm-hmm.
great. If not, I'm calling on the developers out there to create an app so that when I go to the doctor's office, I allow access and it has my
Cheap paper.
information and it has my,
Yeah.
are you allergic to anything? What medication you on? All the standard stuff.
Yeah,
Done. 5 seconds.
it's a great idea.
Okay.
Needs
well,
to happen.
needs to happen. Anyways, go ahead. Continue. I digress.
No worries.
Ed, yes, we're using Mevo, and I am live cutting as we are on this Facebook Live. So this is me here doing it from my phone. He wanted to know how we were doing the
Gotcha.
different cuts. So, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. It's
Go
just a
ahead.
cool device.
Okay. Please speak.
What were we talking about?
Another thing I wanted to say. No, I'm just kidding. You were talking about the paperwork.
Oh yes, yeah. So when we get there are hundreds of us that show up. We have to get our packet of paperwork, fill it out, and then when we check out at the end of the day, God, after 12, 13-hour days, we have to a couple hundred of us have to stand in line and wait for the staff to manually write in each of our vouchers and paperwork, sign it, tear us off a receipt, and hand it to us. So trying to get back to the bus or back home is it's a pain, and I can only imagine how much time and money they're wasting doing that. But
So, production
mm-hmm.
is paying all of you guys every
Yeah.
day.
Yep.
And how do they know what to pay you? I mean, so you signed the piece of paper that says that you're there. That
Yeah.
means you showed up. Is it one flat rate, or if you do more stuff on set, you get bumps or?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a SAG actor, your rate can fluctuate. So the base rate in New York right now is $162 for 8 hours.
What does SAG stand for?
Screen Actors Guild.
Oh,
So that's a
okay.
union.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just
So you're
learned
part of the
something.
union, and yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And so that's your rate for 8 hours. And I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but I think about 80% of the time you always go over 8 hours. So you're always going into overtime. So you get paid overtime, time and a half, and then double time as the hours increase. And let's say you're outside and it's raining, and you're a union actor, you get wet pay. So you get extra pay because you get wet and cold, and you can get smoke pay if there's an actor smoking, or you're in harm's way, according to the union, you get a little extra pay. So there's things so your rate can fluctuate. And at the end of the day, the staff has to put that on your voucher. And
They write it in on the piece of paper?
they write it on a piece of paper, yeah. So if there are 50 of them who all get wet, he has to do that to all 50 vouchers. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's talk a little bit about pathway. What do you do this so that you can start, getting speaking roles, or is this sort of a its own sort of world, and it's not necessarily going to get you into the larger parts, or is it a gateway?
That's a great question. So there are some of my friends. You do only ask good questions.
I only ask good questions. This is what I do. Go ahead.
True. That's why I agreed to come here.
Yeah.
So I have friends who only
came
want
here
to
for
be
the free
background
booze.
actors. That's true. The iced tea.
Yeah.
I have friends that are only want to be background actors. They're career background actors, and they enjoy it. They get paid well, and that's what they do. There are people who, like I said, the teachers, the firefighters who take the day off of work just because they want to be on a Hollywood set, which is awesome. And then there are people who do want to become actors. There are very famous people now who have started as background actors. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a route to go. If you're trying to be a principal actor, I really think you should, practice your craft, get as much training as you can, and start to go to casting showcases and take that route with auditions. But if a lot of the actors, as we're starting out, it's a good pocket cash, and helps you network with some people in the industry, and fellow peers.
If you're a background actor throughout the whole year, can you earn a living? Can you?
Absolutely.
You could be a full-time working background actor.
Absolutely.
And
if you're SAG, you can make a pretty
good salary.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of people, they're becoming Uber drivers now because it's flexible and they can earn some extra money. Can they do both? Can they be an Uber driver and be, just jump back and forth? And
absolutely.
Okay, all right. So
Absolutely.
you can make a decent living.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're SAG and you earn your through waivers, which is in New York, it's relatively easy if you put the work in to do it, and then you get paid more.
Okay. Next question: who is more famous, Samantha or Annalena Jolie?
Samantha.
Angelina Jolie.
I think it's Annalena.
Annalena.
I'm pretty sure.
Who's more famous, Megan Fox or Samantha?
Megan Fox too.
Yeah.
What does
Samantha is a fox.
Okay. Okay. All right. What does
Who's Samantha?
what this one here? What does the typical hour-to-hour day on set? Is it super early in the morning? Do you have to get there at before the crack of dawn? Does it change every day? What is the typical hours, check in, check out?
It's always random, and it depends on when they film and how long they film for, because I think the crew has to have a 12-hour window before they can work again. So if they get off at like 9 p.m., then they can't film the next day until a certain time. So I've had 4 a.m. call times, I've had 6 a.m. call times. On Billions, we worked a night scene where we didn't have to show up till 5 p.m. and we worked till 4 a.m. So really just it's all, and they'll mention if it's a night shoot or not, and then you can decide if you want to go or not. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy hours.
Yeah.
Samantha, what would you like to add?